I always believed in love. Not the fairy tale kind, but the kind where two people genuinely care, trust, and grow together. That's exactly what I thought I had with Emily. She wasn't just my girlfriend, she was my home, my peace. We met at university during freshman orientation. I was late to the session. She was the only one who smiled at me as I stumbled in. From that moment, everything felt natural. We started spending more time together. Coffee breaks, study nights, random walks at 2 a.m. She made life feel lighter. For the first time, I wasn't scared of the future. I was actually excited because I imagined it with her. Our first kiss happened during a thunderstorm. We were stuck under a tiny bus stop roof, both of us soaking wet, laughing like kids. And then, silence. She looked at me, I looked at her, and it just happened. It wasn't just romantic, it felt right. We moved in together by the end of our second year. I'd cook, she'd clean, or sometimes, we'd just order sushi and binge-watch movies. It was simple. Real. Happy. But here's the thing about happiness. Sometimes, it blinds you. You don't see the cracks until they become craters. And by then, it's already too late. It started small. Late replies to my messages. Shorter calls. Fewer hugs when I got home from work. I told myself it was stress. Her classes, her new job, maybe even hormones. I didn't want to sound paranoid or clingy. So I stayed silent. But silence doesn't fix cracks. It widens them. One night, I came home early. I had planned a surprise. Her favorite pasta, candles, even that ridiculous romantic playlist she secretly loved but pretended to hate. She wasn't there. I waited. An hour passed. Then 2. I called, no answer. Texted, left on read. When she finally walked in, past midnight, her hair messy, her perfume stronger than usual, and a weird guilt in her eyes. I asked her, "Where were you?" She laughed, nervously. Said she was with friends. I asked, "Which friends?" She paused for too long. "Just people from work," she mumbled. But her hands were shaking. Emily never shook when she lied, because she never used to lie. That night, she didn't even touch the food I made. She went straight to bed. Didn't even say, "Good night." Didn't even say, "I love you." I lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was imagining things. Was I overthinking? Was I just scared to admit the truth? The next morning, I decided to let it go. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe she just had a bad day. But the bad days became more frequent. The girl who used to laugh at my lame jokes now barely smiled at all. The girl who used to hold my hand under the table at dinner now kept her phone face down. Always. And then, it happened. One evening, I saw a name pop up on her screen. Jason Redhart. Jason, my best friend. The moment I saw his name, Jason Redhart, my entire world stopped. Jason wasn't just a friend. He was my brother in everything but blood. We met when we were 10, built forts together, got suspended together, even cried over our first breakups together. He was the one who helped me choose the ring I once thought I'd use to propose to Emily. He knew how much I loved her. He saw us grow together. He saw me cry over her, dream about our future, plan every step. So why the hell was there a heart next to his name? My chest tightened. My fingers trembled. I didn't want to believe it. I refused to believe it. But curiosity and pain are a dangerous mix. When she went to shower, I picked up her phone. I know it was wrong. But some part of me already knew the truth. I needed confirmation. I unlocked her phone. They weren't just texting. They were flirting. Calling each other pet names. Making plans. My throat went dry as I scrolled further. Photos. Her. Him. together, kissing, laughing. In the shirt I bought her for her birthday. In the restaurant we used to go to. I felt like I was watching someone else's life. How long had this been going on? How many times did they look me in the eye and lie? I heard the water stop. My heart started racing. I placed the phone back, sat on the couch, and stared into nothing. She came out, wrapped in a towel, humming. She looked at me, and immediately sensed something was wrong. "What's wrong, babe?" she asked casually. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just asked, "How long?" Her face froze. The color drained from her cheeks. "I saw the messages," I said. "Jason. The photos. The texts. The lies." Silence. She didn't even deny it. She just sat down. Quiet, then finally said, "I didn't mean for it to happen." Didn't mean for it to happen? That's what people say when they drop a glass, not when they shatter someone's heart. "I was lonely," she whispered. "You were always busy." Jason, he was there. Busy? I worked extra hours to afford our apartment. I skipped nights out just to stay home with her. I sacrificed everything so we could build something lasting. And she gave my best friend what she promised only to me. I asked her one final question. "Did you ever love me, Emily?" She looked at me and said nothing. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. I just sat there in the living room, staring at the floor, trying to make sense of how everything I believed in turned out to be a lie. Emily stayed in the bedroom. She cried once, maybe twice, but she never came out, never apologized. Not truly. Not in the way someone should when they crush a heart that trusted them blindly. I packed my things the following morning. No yelling. No begging. Just silence. When I reached the door, she whispered, "So that's it?" I turned around. "That was it, Emily. You just ended it before I realized." She tried to say something, but I didn't stay to listen. The weeks that followed were hell. I moved in with my cousin, slept on a couch too short for my legs, and lived off instant noodles and coffee. But the worst part wasn't the food. It was the memories. They haunted me. Every morning, I'd wake up and instinctively reach for my phone to text her, "Good morning." Then I'd remember. Some nights I'd dream about her. Not the betrayal. Just us, laughing, dancing in the kitchen, holding hands in the dark. Then I'd wake up, and the pain would hit all over again. I stopped talking to people. Stopped going out. Even Jason, the one person I would usually turn to in times like this, was now the reason I couldn't breathe. One day, he texted me, "Bro, I messed up. Please talk to me." I stared at the message for hours. How do you respond to betrayal wearing the face of someone you once trusted more than yourself? He didn't just steal my girl. He stole my peace, my home, my sense of safety. I blocked his number. Weeks turned into months. I went through every stage, denial, anger, depression. But somewhere along the way, I realized something. I couldn't let them define the rest of my story. So I started going to the gym. Not to impress anyone, just to survive. I took cold showers, journaled every night, forced myself to get out, even if it was just to sit in a coffee shop alone. It was slow, messy, exhausting. But healing isn't a light switch. It's 1,000 tiny choices to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. One rainy evening, kinda poetic, I guess, I stood in front of a mirror and looked at myself for the first time in weeks. Really looked, and I whispered to myself, "You didn't deserve what happened to you. But you will rise from it." And that was the first time I believed I might be okay. It's been a year. 12 long months since the night everything fell apart. If you asked me back then, I'd have sworn I'd never smile again. Never trust again. Never love again. But life has a strange way of surprising you, when you least expect it. No, this isn't the part where I tell you I found someone new, fell in love, and lived happily ever after. This part is different. This part is about me. About how I learned to love myself, piece by broken piece. I used to think healing meant forgetting. Erasing the pain, the people, the memories. But healing is remembering without bleeding. It's standing in the ashes of who you were, and realizing you're still breathing. Still here. I forgave Emily. Not because she deserved it, but because I deserved peace. Forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook. It's about taking the knife out of your own chest. And Jason? I'll probably never see him again. I don't hate him. I just don't carry him with me anymore. I rebuilt myself. With time. With silence. With tears and anger and nights when I nearly gave up. And one day, I woke up. And the first thing I felt wasn't pain. It was freedom. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since high school. I traveled to places I'd only ever seen in pictures. I sat by oceans alone and felt whole. I met strangers who reminded me that the world is still full of kind people. That love still exists, not perfect love,